Hi, Daniel Metler again from 2SIG Internet Solutions. We're the guys who made 2Sexy. And this is the second short video where I'd like to show you how to use the Visual Query Designer to create really awesome apps without writing any code whatsoever. The background of what we're trying to do, etc., is mostly explained in the first video, and there were also some basics which I will not repeat. So if you're just starting with this video, watch the other one first. So what we have now is we have the ability to create to get all the links, but I would like to create a query which will only return the links that match a parameter in the URL. So in other words, I would like to create a help page where it would have a URL like here, where it would say, okay, tag is permissions, and it would then only show me the links that actually have something to do with these permissions. So let's get that going. Inside my query designer, I will create a new one. Here's one I'd already created, but just for the training effect, I'm going to create it again. Okay, so I'm going to say, okay, all links matching URL parameter. And let's just start this. And this one here currently does various things. Now let's just do a few things step by step. You remember in the previous video I lost a few connections, so let me just do this more step by step wise, just to be sure that everything works properly. Okay, now I'm going to add the entity type filter, which you remember from the first video, just to kind of make sure that we only have links in our system. So let me just do this. I'm going to pull this to here, and I will pull this connection to here and call this target links. Okay, let's set these values here, and we're going to call this one, we just want to type link. So if everything works properly, I should now have, just as before, a query which returns 3 results. You can see that here on this pipeline. And that's too many, of course, because not all my links are somehow assigned to the topic of permissions. So let's pretend that we would like to have a filter that only returns those that are related to permissions. To do this, first I would like to add a test parameter, because I need to run a test which kind of says, well, let's try this and this value. And to do it, I'm going to go and say query string, and we're going to call this thing tag, because we're going to say tag is the thing in the URL. Here, let me just show it to you again. Where did I have that? Here. We're going to go for the keyword tag in the URL. And so there we are. I'm going to say the tag would be permissions. So this allows me to run different tests within the query designer. So let's pretend we have the term permissions. Now, of course, nothing's going to change yet. I just added the value so I could use it in the future, but I'm not using it anywhere yet. So you see it's here, it's all ready to go. And now I will have to use a relationship filter, because all my links have a relationship to tags, because I have the tags in a separate list. So I'm now going to say, please just give me the links which apply to a certain relationship. Now, let's leave the original connection in for right now, just so we can test it. And in the relationship filter, we're going to say, well, we're just going to call this links to for the moment, just for fun. At the moment, the filter won't do much. Let me just save that. And if all is well and I don't get an error, maybe I get one because it's not configured, but basically I'm expecting that right now I get 3 in the original pipe and 3 that go to the relationship filter, and there's nothing configured, so nothing comes out of that. So now let's go in and say, okay, I'd like to apply a filter. And I now need to say, which relationship do I want to filter by? I could also, by the way, apply a value filter, but since we're really referring to other information pieces, it's a relationship that we're actually trying to figure out. So the relationship I care about is the tag. And let me just check. The field might be called tags. And the filter I would like to apply, let's do the first test and let's say permissions. Let's just see whether that works. It's usually safer to do this step by step, just to kind of be sure that we're not messing it up. So let's do a quick run. And now, let me look at the result. It now only finds 2 links. That looks really good. So let's change it now and not write in the value ourselves, but actually say, okay, I don't want to write the value in. I would like to use that parameter, query string tag. Now, that's why we had to add the test value, because without the test parameter, it wouldn't know what value it should test for. So this is just a test case. I'm not going to resave it again. And now let's do a query and see if the same thing happens. So it looks pretty good. As you see, I still get 2 results because my test parameter has exactly that in it. And so we're kind of all set to go right now. So what are we going to do next? We're going to go back into the admin and we're going to go and look at the template. And this is the one that we said recommend link based on URL. I will now change it because just to show you the current output is an error message here saying, oops, I don't get any data. And we're now going to go in and say, let us use this new query we just created in this view here. So let's use all links matching URL parameter and update that. Let me go back to the browser here, refresh it, and I should now get all these links, and at the moment I'm still getting too many. So let me quickly figure out what happened here. Let me make sure we're looking at the correct layout, recommended links based on URL. Let's make sure this is recommended links based on URL. Let's make sure we have the correct view. Because as you can tell, unless accidentally, I may have given all the links the parameter permissions, but I think not. Let me just check that. So let me see where I went wrong. Right now the tag does say permissions. If I would say XYZ, it should not give me any. That does not happen at the moment. So at the moment it's very, very obviously not using this parameter to filter. Let me just make sure I maybe didn't save the query properly in the relationship filter here. Let me just save that and check this out again. Okay, very, very obviously we're currently not applying my filter at all. And I think it's, it's kind of embarrassing, of course, if something doesn't work in a demo, but this is real life, of course. Something always kind of doesn't work exactly as you expected it. And at least this way I can show you what I would do to try to solve the problem. So let's quickly try the one I'd previously created, links by tag. Oh, ta-da, of course. That's why it doesn't work. Remember I created a second input here because I was trying to compare the different pipes. So of course I'm going to remove this one now. And I'm going to rename this one to links. And now it delivers it to the right stream, right? Otherwise, of course, it was still using the original query. So now the tag XYZ should deliver no more links, just as expected. And the tag permissions will deliver 2 links. Da, da, da. So as you can see, I can construct my query the way I'd like to. I can do a really lot of powerful things. Right now you only just saw the relationship filter, but there's way more you can do. I also applied one more trick because you see here it says recommended links for permissions. If I remove the tag, it doesn't say recommended links for blank, it disappears. And that is a special neat trick which has nothing to do with the query designer, but has to do with the fact that I can configure views to only appear if certain parameters exist in the URL. So in other words, depending on the URL, different views are applied. So this one doesn't even appear. I have a blank view which appears in the default case, and when the term tag appears, then this view is shown. So that's how it works. I hope you like it, I hope you understand it, and I hope you have fun, because this really allows so many people with less technical background to create awesome apps without any code whatsoever on the server, just tokens, for example, or JavaScript. So you can create safe apps, you can create customizable apps, really awesome solutions without writing any code. So I hope you like it. This is Daniel Mettler, Too Sexy from Too Sick Internet Solutions. Thank you for watching.